So I just got back from a trip to Japan, and this is the first time that I visited the country with TCGs on my mind. My past few trips to Japan, I typically would look to pick up retro games. So my trips would involve me picking up Dreamcast, N64, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation, Vita, everything essentially old and new. I've even picked up new games because Nintendo Switch games are definitely cheaper in Japan in comparison to here in Canada, and they're compatible here. So this was the first year that I went with TCGs in mind, and it was also my first time to kind of experience the TCG scene in Japan. And while I'm not going to go into too much detail around what I experienced in great detail, one thing that I did notice that kind of stood out is that Bandai definitely does dominate. With the exception of Pokemon, Bandai definitely dominates the TCG scene there. Everywhere you go, from big box stores like Big Camera, Ideon, even Don Quixote, you can find Bandai games. So, from One Piece, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, even Union Arena, they're easy to find in those stores. Lorcana, surprisingly, was something that I saw was very popular in stores and carried in the bigger box stores. Pokemon, of course, is the dominating card game there. Definitely hard to find boxes. Pokemon centers in Fukuoka and Hiroshima, where I visited, did not allow you to buy boxes. They only sold single packs and had limits on all the packs, so you couldn't even get a full box worth of packs. You had to just kind of relegate to 5 to 10 packs, depending on the set in question. With regards to One Piece, the demand there is definitely high. You can find starter sets, no problem. So I picked up 2 starters. I picked up 26 and 28, so Luffy and Yamato. I picked those up. They're very inexpensive, 550 yen. Some places were selling them even for less. I think it was Big Camera and Ideon were selling certain starter sets for like 440 yen. And if you're using tax-free opportunities, that means you're paying even less if you're a foreign tourist like myself. I did manage to get a box. I did luck out in pulling a box of OP15. This one was a bit of a challenge to get. I was in the city of Beppo on Saturday, the 28th, when the set went live, and I was lucky to get to the store in time to get the box because I managed to get the last slip that was available, or at least displayed on their board. For context, if you're not familiar, Japan typically, for their products, especially around card games, is that they'll put out slips on boards, and you grab those slips, go to the cash, and then you get the box. And those slips kind of correspond to how much they have available. So I pulled the last slip that was available. I know that there was other slips because there was a guy ahead of me looking at the board who grabbed one before I got a chance to. So he grabbed the second to last one, then I grabbed the last one. We both went to the cash at the same time, and he essentially got the pack before me, but I feel as though I got the last box at that store. Nothing else in stores was available, at least in terms of the more recent packs. OP14 sold out, OP13 sold out, EBO3 and 04 impossible to find. I had gone to the Bandai Cross store in Fukuoka, and the only box that I got was the One Piece The Best Volume 2. That they had tons of in stock. They did have their OP10 and 8 boxes available, but I wasn't too keen on getting those. I did manage to get 2 loose packs out of a gacha machine, but I didn't end up buying boxes for those two, sorry. One Piece was definitely hard to find card-wise. In terms of products, other products around One Piece, very easy to find. I managed to pick up a couple of sleeves, so I picked up this one here of Bonnie that was recently released. I picked up this Ulti and Page 1 one. There was tons of other sleeves available. There were boxes that you could pick up, both the more smaller boxes that you want if you just want to hold your set. If you want to hold bigger collections, those were also available. The Bandai Cross store had tons of play mats available on sale. I'm pretty certain I could have picked up the mat that I've got here on the screen here. If I'd waited instead of buying it here in North America, I could have probably bought it in Japan for significantly less. Playmats cost around 3,800 yen, so that's about $38 Canadian. I'm pretty certain I paid $60 for this one. So it is a little bit on the pricier side. Gundam was definitely very easy to find. When I was in the Bandai Cross store, I picked up these 2 starter sets, 1 and 2 from the initial release. I was at the Gundam base store and I picked up a box of GDO3, the Steel Requiem set, but this was also available in the Bandai Cross store. I just was in the Bandai Gundam base store. Sorry, I was in the Gundam base store to buy some Gundam Gunpla units. So they had this in stock and I just ended up buying it there. However, the kind of cool thing that I did kind of luck out while I was in Japan is I was there during the promotion around One Piece card game for Ichiban Kuji. Now, for those unfamiliar, Ichiban Kuji are raffles around different properties. And what these allow you to do is that for a price, you know, between 600 to let's say 800, 900 yen, you buy raffle tickets, and raffle tickets all have corresponding numbers and then, corresponding letters, and then those letters earn you prizes. With regards to the One Piece card games Ichiban Kuji promotion, popular thing that was really sought off was at the beginning of the promotion where they were giving out for everyone who bought during the first day of buying tickets, they had a limited number of leader cards around Luffy that you could pick up. Now, I wasn't there for the start of the promotion, so I missed that aspect of it. However, because I was nearing the end of the promotion, or at least the promotion at the Ichiban Kuji store that I was at, I managed to buy the remaining 12 slips that were available. So what that meant was that I got this towel here of Bonnie. I managed to get 3 acrylic leaders displays, these 2 tokens here, one for cost and one for energy, and then I managed to get some sticker packs, which I will open up in a separate video. The reason why I want to do separate videos is that I managed to get what they call the last one. Now, what happens is that as a way to entice people to still buy the raffle tickets after the bigger prizes are gone, they offer a reward for the person who buys the last ticket. Now, what that means is that if you were the person who grabbed the last ticket from the box, you get, on top of the thing that you would get from the raffle slip, you get a bonus prize. Now, for the One Piece card game, the bonus prize is this playmat. And it's a cool looking playmat featuring, characters from the Straw Hat crew. And it's something that I was initially I didn't even really think about this, but because I saw that there were so few tickets left and they do have a limit of 10 per purchase, I did, I first bought 5, and then when I saw that there was only a few left in the box, I was like, okay, let me see if I can buy the rest. And went back in line. No one else was buying One Piece. Everyone else was focusing on other products that they had available in the store. So I lucked out, bought the remaining, and I won this won this playmat. And I will do a video unboxing of this to kind of show it off, but I just felt like this is kind of the cool prize that I kind of lucked out. And I think considering that, it's not one of the highly sought after prizes for this promotion. There was a Luffy figure, there were some towels, there were a couple of other things. I'll post if I haven't already, I'll post the display that kind of shows off the prizes, especially the bigger prizes that were available. But lucking out and getting this last one prize was the surprise of the trip, where I kind of wasn't planning on doing this, but because I stumbled upon this opportunity with the Ichiban Kuji promotion, I won this prize, and I'm really happy about that. So that's going to kind of wrap up this video. I just want to kind of quickly go over some of the stuff that I got. I did, like I said, I did have a major goal in mind. I did want to get some newer stuff. I did luckily get at least one new set of cards that was available. I didn't luck out in getting anything around EBO3 or OP14, other than I did win some loose packs out of a gacha machine. I did have to earn these packs. It wasn't just given to me. I had to win prizes to get them, and while they were still more expensive than they would have cost in stores if they were available, I still paid less than I would have paid had I wanted to buy these online here in North America. So that's going to wrap up this video. Once again, thank you very much for checking it out. Do stay tuned for future videos around the Ichiban Kuji stuff and the OP15 unboxing. But until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.